All right, guys, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So Mark Rubin has updated us now in terms of some of the results of the server test session that we had about 5 or 6 days ago, and it looks like we have some possible exciting news, which we're going to talk about a little bit more towards the end. But as of right now, I might as well just read you this update, and we can kind of go from there. So first, he said, hello, everyone. First off, thank you for everyone that participated in our test server session. We got a lot of really great data to help us tune our servers and netcode. The team felt really good about how the test went, and we are really excited about getting to launch, and we'll have more info on when that will be very soon. So let's talk about the results of the test. We know it wasn't perfect for everyone, but because of your feedback and the data we collected, we were able to identify a few things that we can tune to improve the experience. An analogy I've used when discussing our new netcode versus the old netcode is that previously we had an old kind of busted guitar, but it was reasonably tuned. Now we have a new guitar, but it needs tuning, and that's what this test helped us do. So thank you. I want to share with you 3 of the biggest things that we learned from this test. Some of these issues that we were able to tune during the live test, and some we will improve before we go live, and we will continue to improve after launch. Number 1, Delta 01 servers. This may be one of the issues that was causing extra latency issues, such as being shot around corners. So this fix should improve the experience. By how much is to be determined. Health bars, both over the players' heads and in death cam, were updating later than actual damage, giving the impression that your bullets weren't doing damage. And lastly, we were not aggressive enough with our matchmaking when trying to find matches so that people had higher pings than we would have wanted. This was particularly fixed during the test, partially fixed during the test, excuse me. So the last day of the test should have been better than previous days. Again, thank you to everyone who came out and played the short test. It really helped us a lot in preparation for going live. And keep an ear out for more information soon on when we go live. We can't wait to see you all in game. Now, the biggest take out of this entire little article that Mark Rubin had written for us, out of the one big highlight, right? Obviously, other than the 1, 2, and 3 that we went over, the biggest highlight was towards the end of the first paragraph, to where he said the team felt really good about how the test went, and we were really excited to getting to launch, and we will have more info on when that will be very soon. Now, one thing I've noticed is that when Mark Rubin says very soon, this basically means, like, I would say in about a week's time or so. You know, if it was just soon, it would be at least 2 weeks, if not longer, right? But now, because of this, they have an idea of when that will be, and the fact that we're going to get an announcement on when launch is going to be very soon is something that I personally am quite excited about, actually, because, well, the sooner you get an announcement, the sooner the release actually is of the game. So I'm just going to go out and say it right now. My prediction as of right now is we're going to get it sometime in May at the earliest, and at the latest, late June. So we're talking about, I would say, in terms of now, we're talking about 7 weeks from now at the latest. And I would say 3 to 5 weeks at the earliest. That's my prediction, and I know it's a bold prediction. I know that there are those of you that don't even think that the game is going to release this year. Some of you have been in my comment section basically telling me that. Also, in terms of some of my polls that I've put on both in the community section here of this channel, as well as everything on Twitter. So there are definitely those of you that don't believe that the game is going to release, and I totally respect it, because so far we've seen nothing but delays. And you know what? None of us are wrong at this point. And so far, you guys that don't believe that the game is going to release this year, well, so far you're right, until they release this year, if they do so to speak. So that is my prediction. It would make sense for the game to release even in July or whatnot, but at the same time, you know, it's really a special time for the summer, because quite frankly, I think just like holiday, summer itself is pretty much kind of like a holiday within and of itself, because there's going to be more people that are out of school, whether they're in, you know, regular public school or whether they're in college or whatever the deal is. They're going to be out of school. And then on top of that, you also have your adults, grown-ass adults, that are actually taking some time off work, and this is part of the year when they do that. Another part of the year is holiday, obviously. So this is kind of like a second holiday, so to speak, coming up, if you want to look at it that way. So I, for one, am actually really, really excited to see what this launch date is going to be. And honestly, I think I really think that we're going to get an announcement next week. And I, for one, am going to be keeping eyes and ears out. As a matter of fact, when I received this notification up on Twitter, it was like, I don't know, like 15 or 18 hours later or something like that. So holy crap. I mean, all these days have gone by and I didn't even know. So I apologize about the lack of update, but I literally found out today before I had to go in for work. So, but these are my predictions and these are my thoughts. And I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, do you want the game to release given the amount of content it has, and then we just deal with it 6 weeks down the line, and then after that we get additional content? Or do you guys want the game to delay even more and just wait for them to just release more content along with the game, in fears of what might happen if they don't? But I would say the lack of content would only last about 6 weeks. Then after that, we're going to be getting features in season 1, and as well as additional content in season 1. And then after 3 months, every 3 months from that, that'll be it. So the first 6 weeks of the game are going to be very crucial. But at the same time, from a positive standpoint, though, even though, for those of you guys that were here in my last video, I had expressed concern about whether or not they should release and what I personally want compared to what I think is better for the longevity of the game or whatnot. And again, I could always be wrong with my opinions and everything like that. But, are you guys concerned about the lack of content, or you guys think the game is going to be fine for the first 6 weeks until the content starts flowing in? And again, going to the positive side of this, during those 6 weeks of season 0, they're going to be getting a hell of a lot more data, and they're going to be able to update and tune the game as we play the game. So there's going to be continued improvements. And if there's any proof, well, for one, my pings and overall connection did improve after the first day. I went from averaging 75 plus ping to averaging about 45 ping, which is a big difference. And again, if they continue to improve upon this, this means that my average ping, for instance, is going to be even lower than before, which means a better connection, which means all this other stuff. And of course, everything else that Mark Rubin had mentioned here. So, but that's my take on everything. These are my predictions, and I'd really like to know down below what your predictions are and whether or not you support the game being launched as soon as possible, and what this sounds like to you. And so what do you guys think? Are you thinking May? Are you thinking June? Or are you thinking later than that? I'd really like to know. But with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.